Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So this video is going to be my match review for Sheffield United winning Norwich 2-1 over at Bramall Lane. So just before I start the video, make sure to drop a like on it. I'm going to aim for a 10 likes because that match yesterday was one I'm not going to forget for a while. It was such a great match. So if you're a Blade fan, Norwich fan or another fan, hit 10 likes, and also if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification button so then you never miss an upload. So as ever, I've got my notes like I always do for my previews and everything that I do. So, you know, I'm just going to start off this video by saying a lot of the Norwich fans think that there's a rivalry between us, saying that we hate them and everything. We didn't like it how you played against us in the Bramall Lane match last season. And admittedly we did get a bit of a chant going just to take the and it seems to have triggered you guys a little bit. As far as I'm aware, there was one match where we didn't enjoy playing you, and there's a bit of a chant to go along with that. I won't call it a rivalry, I'd say it's more of a love-hate relationship, to be honest, because Norwich fans, to be honest, you don't really have many rivalries. You have, you know, you have Ipswich, and then the closest rival to that is like Peterborough. So, you know, you probably are a bit dry on your rivals, but all I'm saying is we aren't one of them. We just don't generally like you. Under Daniel Farke, anyway. So now I've just cleared up that. I'm going to just do the game in chronological order. So, to start off, Ollie Norwood's set pieces were excellent. I can't explain how good they are, to be honest. He took corners from the left and the right. The ones from the left where it was like an outswinger, he just like cut his foot across it and drove it in, and it was a beautiful ball in. And for the other side, he just whipped it in. And you know, the driving that he did to John Egan's head for our goal was excellent. I'm not 100% sure on what minute it was. It was about the 10th minute, I'd guess. And the goal was goal line technology, but you know, when you actually look back at the highlights, the header was excellent. For him to be able to win the ball, dink it over what's his name, Tim Krul in the Norwich City nets, and managed to get it into the net, absolutely excellent. So yeah, we went 1-0 up, and then after that we was pressing a lot. You know, we had chances, and the main one that I picked out was the one where I think it were Freeman or Bash passed it in, and Leon Clark, he had the whole net to aim at other than Tim Krul, who was stood there, and he managed to shoot it at Tim Krul. No criticism against Leon, because, you know, to be able to find that space and get the shot off was excellent. And I know you guys might think that I babyfy Leon a bit, you know, I'd stick up for him a lot. It's because so many of you guys hate him. I don't see why you do. He's probably, you know, he gets into the best chances for us, if you ask me. He's great at holding up, I noticed, you know. There were 5 or 6 moments I can pick out where he held up the ball and set us up for a counter-attack. I thought he were excellent. Admittedly, he was lacking that finish, but me and my mate were saying that I went to the game with, we were just saying, all he needs is 1 goal, and I reckon he's going to be up and ready for the season and get 10 or more goals. Norwich City scored on the break. We were pressurising them so much, and as soon as the goal went in, we was deflated. It were a counter-attack. Bash was marking, what's his name, Onel Hernandez. Basham was trying to mark him, and he's been their standout player so far this season. He managed to turn Bash, get a lovely ball into the box, and it had to be Jordan Rose, didn't it? It just had to be Jordan Rose. It was a bit of with his celebration, wanted to come into the Kop doing that. But guess what? It didn't work for him, did it? And after that goal, the Blades were really quite deflated, if you ask me. We weren't really putting the pressure onto the Norwich City team that we were earlier on in the match. I don't know whether it's because we were tired or whether we were just a bit shocked that they'd managed to score, even though we'd been the better side by far. But we came out in the second half. We brung off Ben Woodburn, we brung on Ryan Leonard. We had a bit more of a solid midfield, if you ask me, but it was also more offensive, because what we had was we either had Leonard or Norwood sitting back as an anchor man, and then we had the other 2 midfielders pushing forward. So really, we were playing like a 5-1-4. It was very, very attacking how we played it, basically. And then we always had the wing backs pushing forward as well, so that's like a 3-1-6. Make that what you will. But yeah, we came out in the second half, we pressed Norwich a lot. We had 2 headers from corners which possibly should have gone in. We had one from John Egan. I don't think this one was a corner, more of a rebound from a corner. So basically we had a corner, it was cleared, and I think it was Norwood or somebody crossed it in, and John Egan headed it, and it was literally about 10 inches, 5 or 10 inches off going in. Very, very close, basically. And then the other chance, it was Leonard having a header. It was a beautiful corner. He was free in the box. He was doing like a, it was quite high up, and he couldn't quite get his head fully on it, so it went above the bar. But we had 2 chances within the space of about 4 or 5 minutes where we probably should have sealed the win up. Whilst that was all going on, Norwich had, I don't even know what happened. They had 3 against 1 because what happened, I think it was Jack O'Connell came running in. It was Jack O'Connell or Leonard, I can't remember which one it was. Tackled the ball off of their player, rebounded against them. They had 3 players all offside, and I think it was Moritz Leitner went for on goal, and Dean Anderson, take a bow, my son, because he made such an amazing save, and I don't understand how he did it. The actual ball itself was going to be given offside, the 4th official said, but we were on the counter attack after this chance. So basically, what happened was play just went on. But Dean Anderson, I'll put this, if I haven't already, I'll put the save on screen hopefully. It was such a good save. I can't say that I knew fully what happened because I was in the cop and it was at the other end of the stadium, but 3-on-1 for him to stay big, save a shot, it's quality. And I'm proud to say I was one of the only people to want Dean Anderson to stay in there after we lost to Swansea in their Middlesbrough. A lot of people calling for more to come back into the net, but I thought I saw the potential in Dean Anderson, and I'm proud to say that was correct. But after that, what was it about? It was in injury time, wasn't it, when we scored? Basically, McGoldrick came on what would have been about the 75th minute, 80th minute-ish for Kieran Freeman. We went to a 4-1-2-1-2 sort of thing. We had Norwood sitting back, we had Leonard and Fleck in a centre-mid duo. Then we had McGoldrick as an attacking midfielder, and then we had Sharp and Clark up front, obviously, and it just worked so well. McGoldrick made such a big difference, and the goal, I could see it coming. Basically, McGoldrick lost the ball, and then the Norwich player lost it to Leonard. I'm just going to try and explain the goal to you whilst it's on screen. And then McGoldrick passed it, and then I think it was Leonard passed it to Basham. Basham did a beautiful driven ball into the box. McGoldrick manages to get his left foot onto it, get it into the box, and Billy Sharp, who else, scores the goal. Celebrations, I'm going to put them on screen now.
Take your time, Sheffield United. Take your time, Sheffield United. For the Norwich way.
And that should have just been a little clip of how good the atmosphere was once we scored that goal. Last season it feels like we were getting all the late goals scored against us, Villa, Bristol City, and it just did go a bit pear-shaped at times last season, but this time it's just scoring the late goals. Hopefully we can get some more. I've got to say the 4 standout players from yesterday's performance. Dean Anderson, even that save alone that he made was great, and then after the match he came over to the fans, did that. It's absolutely amazing, and we need a chant for him. I feel like we've got one already, but we definitely need to get a proper chant for him. Bash was great. As I thought, I wanted him to get dropped. I'll admit it. I wanted him to get dropped from that back 3. I wanted it to be Stearman, Egan, and O'Connell in whichever order Wilder saw fit. But Bash, what I'm trying to say, basically, I slated him for rushing out when that's what his actual role is meant to do, because we should really have 2 other defenders behind him to cover him. But yeah, Bash was excellent. I bet my words, basically. Norwood, in his first league match for the Blades, what a performance it was. Man of the match, absolutely. You can tell that he's got experience at the top end of the championship. He just felt in control every time he had the ball. He weren't scared to pass it backwards when he needed to, and when he passed it forwards, some of the passes he made were excellent. I can't explain how good he is, to be honest. So unless you went to the game or watched it, guys, It's hard to explain how good he was. And then Billy Sharp, I thought that he seemed to look like he's got a lot fitter over the summer. Last season it felt like by the 60th and 70th minute he was knackered, but yesterday up until the 93rd or 4th minute when he scored, he was running all the time. And I'm really happy to see that Billy Sharp seems to be back to his best. Say that what you will, but I think that he is. And I've got 12-1 criticism. You guys, it's coming. Ender Stevens again. His end product, his crossing wasn't very good. Again, fair enough, he might be decent defensively, but offensively, he's not been good enough. And although we won the match, he didn't really contribute. Let's be honest, he didn't really contribute towards us getting the 2 goals that we got. And Wilder's not going to drop him, so I guess we're just going to have to get used to it. So yeah, that's been my match review. Just a final little piece of news is the Wild has come out and said that we have one player very, very close to being a done deal. It just depends on the other side, I think. And then we have 2 players that we're still negotiating and stuff. So from what I've heard, we're bringing in a player by the name of Marvin Johnson, on loan from Middlesbrough. He can play left wing back. And then Chris Wilder says that still needs a striker. Preferably he's going for championship experience. But he says if he really needs to, he'll pick up a hot youngster. His words, not mine. Something along the lines of that. So hopefully I've enjoyed this match review. I feel like I spoke about quite a fair bit. But if I did miss anything out, go down in the comments and tell me. So yeah, like, subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your day. And that's a very good win for the Blades. Let's hope we can win on Saturday.